Is the NDIS a blessing or a curse for the Australian economy? Let's get into it. One of the big conundrums facing Australia is why is Australia's unemployment rate of 4% so low, especially when compared with other high debt, high income countries? An answer to this question appears to come from the National Disability Insurance Scheme, or NDIS. As the chart on the left from Mark the Graph shows, job vacancies in healthcare and social assistance related to the NDIS have absolutely exploded over the past 4 years. And the chart on the right from CBA similarly shows that Australia has a much higher share of people working in healthcare and social assistance than other comparable developed countries. The chart on the left shows that jobs for personal carers and assistants in Australia has absolutely exploded, which has helped drive overall jobs growth. Whereas the chart on the right from Alex Joyner at IFM Investors shows that while total jobs have increased by 2.2% in the year to March, jobs in the market sector have increased by only 0.3%. This suggests that almost all of Australia's jobs growth has come from government spending primarily related to the NDIS. The NDIS is also driving Australia's GDP growth. Data from Westpac shows that public demand as a share of GDP hit a record high 27.2% in the March quarter. This reflected a combination of record infrastructure spending from the states alongside the enormous growth in the NDIS and aged care spending from the federal government. While the NDIS might be powering the Australian economy, it does point to bad news for Australia's productivity growth. This chart from Alex Joyner at IFM Investors shows that government-aligned jobs typically display poor productivity growth. This is a concern given the NDIS is projected to take over an increasingly large share of the Australian economy over coming decades. The NDIS currently costs taxpayers over $40 billion a year. And the Parliamentary Budget Office projects that in around a decade, the NDIS will cost over $100 billion, i.e. as much as the age pension. One thing that should have us all concerned is that private equity funds and billionaires are piling into the NDIS, sniffing rivers of gold from taxpayers. The NDIS has also been subject to widespread fraud and rorting by unscrupulous actors. We've seen this play out before with rorting of the private vocational education and training system, the pink bat schemes, and childcare subsidies. And now the NDIS has been targeted. Look, the purpose of this video isn't to attack the NDIS or attack people who are disabled, or obviously people who work in the NDIS. There are a lot of good people in that sector. And for full disclosure, I have a heavily autistic son that is on the NDIS. So the scheme has been a terrific help for us. That being said, we are all taxpayers and we should ask questions about whether or not our money is being spent effectively. And I think when it comes to the NDIS, the answer is clearly no. There needs to be greater checks and balances. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next video.